media that there was only one firearm event, which took place at this location, where the people are seen to be fleeing the sound of gunfire. The gunfire does sound as if two individuals were shooting at each other with semi-automatic weapons of large caliber. People should be aware that even one high-caliber gunshot could have caused a so-called mass casualty shooting in such a densely populated area. Let's examine some eyewitness testimony to look for discrepancies in the media's accepted narration of this mass casualty event.
Three of the shooting victims are all from the same Leavenworth family. They're out of the hospital tonight, but they have physical scars that may be tough to look at, and emotional scars too. They shared what they heard, saw, and felt with Fox 4's David Marco.
And they told me the same thing. I'm sure a lot of those 22 shooting victims who are recovering tonight are thinking, you never think it's going to be you until it is. Jacob Gooch Sr., his wife Emily Tavis, and their three kids had just enjoyed a second straight Chiefs Super Bowl victory rally at Union Station.
It was a blast, just like usual up until the end.
As they were preparing to leave, they noticed the commotion.
There's a lady breaking up an altercation, saying something like, "Not now, this isn't the place, or this isn't the time."
And I seen him draw a gun, and he started shooting.
And then pop, 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 gunshots. I'm yelling, I'm hit, get out, get away.
Bullets went into Gooch's foot.
So it went in over here, and then there's a hole here and a hole at the bottom.
It goes without saying that it is the accepted practice by media not to question the people they interview. If their story fits media's gun-grabbing narrative, no obvious questions are ever asked. Questions like, where is the hole that you claim is in the bottom of your foot?
Was an act of terrorism. John?
Neil Jones, thank you. Joining me now is Austin Pritchett and Astor Bubbles. They were at the parade when the shooting began. First of all, to both of you, we're very glad that you are safe and able to join us. Austin, let me start with you. What was the first thing that went through your head when you started hearing gunfire?
So it was initially when we were about to exit the rally, it just ended. And so you hear the gunshots, and initially in my head I was like, fireworks, but then it clicked. Yeah, I was in the military, so then immediately it clicked. I was like, oh, no, that's gunshots. And I was like, oh, gunshots. And I looked at each other and ran towards. Yeah, we looked down and you could see the crowd start to run away, and then we saw people start to drop to. Sorry.
Began. First of all, to both of you, we're very glad that you are safe and able to join us. Austin, let me start with you. What was the first thing that went through your head when you started hearing gunfire?
So it was initially when we were about to exit the rally, it just ended. And so you hear the gunshots, and initially in my head I was like, oh, fireworks, but then it clicked. Yeah, I was in the military, so then immediately it clicked. I was like, oh, no, that's gunshots. And I was like, oh, gunshots. And I looked at each other and ran towards. Yeah, we looked down and you could see the crowd start to run away, and then we saw people start to drop to. Sorry. We saw people drop to the ground, and it was just a surreal event.
Astor, had you ever thought before today, because there are a lot of shootings in America, have you ever thought, if I'm in a situation like that, this is what I'd do?
No, I don't think anything can really prepare you for what you're going to do in that situation. I can't imagine this ever happening, but we ended up being right there.
And Austin, you mentioned you were in the. Sorry, go ahead, Astor.
Oh, I said our first thought was just to help.
Did you know, Astor, where the shooting was coming from, or was it just a sense of chaos and mayhem?
I don't know if I know exactly where the shots came from, but I could hear the general area, and I saw people go down.
And Austin, what was your reaction? You said you'd been in the military. Had you, what kicked in your mind? Had you ever thought something like this might happen, that you would be around gunfire?
So, we go through active shooter training every year and everything like that. So, immediately I recognized it as that.
Astor, tell me what your thinking was about going to the parade, what you were hoping for today, what your thoughts were before the mayhem started.
Well, it was my first Chiefs parade, so I didn't really know what to expect. Obviously not what happened, but I was excited. I mean, everyone was telling me how big an event it was, and it was supposed to be super fun, and we were having a really good time until that happened.
So we ended up booking it down an alley. People followed us, and it was a dead end.
And it was barricaded pushed over the barricades and we jumped into the parking garage and we were helping lift people through the parking garage ledges to get out of there.
And we exit the parking garage and it just seems like everything's normal, like no one knows what's going on.
Aster, sometimes when this happens, people say, how did this happen in our community? Do you feel that way, or this is the 48th mass shooting in America this year? Shocking, but was it surprising?
I mean, it's appalling at this point. You know, at what point do we quit with the, bluntly, thoughts and prayers? Obviously, it's not helping. You know, this is an epidemic in America. We're in February. 48 mass shootings. Not even 2 full months of the year is ridiculous, and it just keeps getting worse year in and year out. And I own guns at home, but something has to change.
CBS News contributor and a former assistant secretary for counterterrorism.
It was on a bench in the park last night that you stole a kiss in the pale moonlight. Now you've gone a bench in the park last night that you stole a kiss in the pale moonlight. Now you think it's right to return to the scene of the crime.